us.
The liberation of mutant kind has begun.
Welcome to the future.
Voice is Clown.
Not Clown. Joker.
Avengers!
Assemble.
Nobody tampers with the equipment except Tony Stark.
Good idea.
United, the Avengers are strong.
Hawkeye, hands off.
Fool! Have you forgotten my invincible magnetic power?
Not this time, Magneto.
My mutant brain senses danger.
Something unseen is slowly spreading its poisons, edging tempers.
Think carefully before you do this.
You filthy criminals.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What's up, guys? Welcome to issue 96 of Two Fat Guys Pull Us, aka Jim is flying solo tonight because Nate is at a concert and with his significant other, and so it will be me and me alone tonight. So it'll be a little bit of a quicker show, obviously, but we'll still have some good times. We'll still have some fun, and we'll get this party started. What up, Stefan? What up, Patty? But, you know, as we start this, always make sure to let me know what your pick of the week was this week. And what was the most surprising book that you read this week? I want to know. But let's talk about some business. Hopefully I'm going to push this button, and hopefully it works. Yeah, here I go. Nope, it didn't. Okay. So let me get that situated. But we're going to do some, you know, we're going to talk about some business, obviously. And that business is, we're talking about our show sponsor, which is Collected Comics and Games. So if you head over to their website, which is brainycomics.com, you can head over there and check out all these awesome things that you can buy from brainycomics.com. And yeah, so brainycomics.com, you can buy exclusive and variant covers of books, current books, bundles, bad idea books, new comics, mystery bags, back issues, graphic novels, games, toys and collectibles, and even trading cards. So head on over to BrainyComics.com, buy some stuff, and then before you leave, type in the search bar Two Fat Guys Pull Us, and this will pop up. What we'd like you to do is, if you decide to buy something on BrainyComics.com, head on over there, type in Two Fat Guys Pull Us, add these upgrades to your cart. You can either do one for $8, which is the standard upgrade, or you can do the premium upgrade, which gets you 2 mystery exclusive cover comics in your cart, as well as whatever else you bought at brainycomics.com. So check on out, go to Brainy Comics. You can hit that exclusive or variant cover tab. You can see all the books that Ron has currently available, and you might actually win one of those books, or get that upgrade in your pool if you decide to do it. So head on over to brainycomics.com, check that out, and support the show, support Collected Comics and Games. All right, the other piece of business before I do that, I am missing the Collected logo. There it is. Yeah. I was like, man, because I'm just doing just gems, so my whole setup is just kind of not where it needs to be right now. Working on everything else? Yeah, everything else is working out great. Let's talk about our sub giveaway really quick. We're trying to hit 750 subscribers. We're at 689 currently, so we're doing great, guys. We're killing it. But when we hit 750 subscribers, we're giving away this bad boy, the 9.4 CGC graded Silver Surfer Black #1, second printing with Noel on the cover. So let's try to hit that 750 subscriber goal so we can give away this Slabby Patty. And then, as always, you guys know the drill. When we hit 1,000, we're giving away this Amazing Spider-Man #4 Original Sin tie-in, the first appearance of Silk when we hit 1,000 subscribers. And Nate's not here to give me shit about it. We're giving away this book. So here we go. All right, let's get to the chat, shall we? So we can really kick the show off correctly. Patty, heck yeah, I gotta say, pick of the week is Daredevil. Love to see Spidey looking normal. Also, finally using my Saudi Prince money to get classic car parts. Dope. You gotta get those stickers ready. No, we're working on it, Patty, I promise. What up, Stefan? Joe, what up? Hope it's limp. Oh no, it's not. It's not Limp Bizkit. He's actually going to a Coheed and Cambria concert, which I'm super jealous about because I was planning on going, but then we were going to go to Kansas, and then that trip got canceled, and I didn't get tickets, so I got left behind. Anyway, Patty, good for him. That's right. I hope. Right on. Hope he has much fun. He'll have a good time. Good time. Before I get started, Amazing Spider-Man number 5 was last week. After I got cut up, man, the artwork took me out of the story. Rich, we've been down that road. You're totally correct. It is just hard. But your pick of the week is 8 Million Genies. I'm sure that was probably going to be Nate's pick, but I don't know. I'm gonna have to ask him because we got to get it up at the store anyway. Stefan Immortal / Gala is my pick of the week. I might have to agree with you there, but we'll see. I'm gonna feel it out. I haven't quite picked one yet. Joe, pick of the week was Moon Knight. This book doesn't try to change your world, but after I read it each month, I always am thinking of that was awesome and fun. I agree with that. I'll give the week A-, Joe. Yeah, I think I would agree. I think I would give the week an A- as well. Tendu, what up? You're here. I love it. Patty, Moon Knight was pretty wicked this week, but I loved the Daredevil book. Gave me vibes of the animated Spidey series. It was really good. Tendu, you say Gala, Immortal, and AXE was not good. Not on a good foot for this event. Judgment Day looking like a dud, missing Hickman every day. I totally understand that. I felt okay. We'll get into it. But if I give an overall assessment of this week with those books that are leading into Judgment Day, I wouldn't go as I don't know. I wouldn't go as harsh. I dug it. I think we'll get into it. We'll definitely get into it. What up, Holden? But yeah, let's go ahead and just dive right in. Like I said, this is going to be kind of a shorter show. Obviously, it's just me riffing and going off of y'all, going off of chat. So also, if you have any random questions you want me to answer, it'll just be me on the TikTok this week if we end up having one. So drop one, and I will try to entertain the question as best as I can. But Nate is definitely the better answer when we get our questions. But we'll check it out. All right, so let's get it off with X-Men's Hellfire Gala, issue number 1. By Gary Jerry. Let me say this. I enjoyed the issue overall. I thought it was a fun issue. I love the cameos. Love seeing John Hamm in the book. Is that a hint? Or, is he going to be in the MCU soon? Is he going to be Mr. Sinister? Hope so. Anyway, there's a lot. The only thing I will say is there's just a lot going on in this book, right? And you can see story points that were set up via Hickman or year 1 of the Krakow era in here, right? And we're going to get into a lot of these other things that are, in another book that we're going to get to. The biggest things for me that were dropped in here were we're going back to Charles and Magneto stealing the knowledge of from Reed Richards about taking the X gene out. We're coming back to that storyline. This whole Sinister thing is getting really crazy. The Spider-Man involvement with Mary Jane and Moira, I dig it, but I want to know. I don't want to say it feels forced, but it just feels a little off to me. Like this whole hey, we're going to rope in Spider-Man. So I'll put a hesitant about that, but we'll see where it's going. I'm really digging Emma Frost and how she's really trying to take charge with the lack of leadership from Xavier. And I mean, it's her island to fuck up essentially right now. You know what I mean? Like it's her island to lose, I think. And what up, Jaden? So that's pretty crazy. The fact that she's kind of selecting certain members of the island to reveal the secrets of Xavier. We're definitely seeing a crack. We're seeing a foundational crack, and you can kind of see it in the logo of the Hellfire Gala. Like there are cracks forming, and I just don't know. I guess my worry is that we're moving. I hope we're not moving too fast, right? Because I'm digging being in the Krakow era as much as it's hard to get back into because Hickman's not a part of it. I still like the age that we're in, right? I like where the mutants are currently. So I'm a little worried that we're about to go full speed ahead and get out of the Krakowan era very quickly. And that's to me is the most worrying thing that I got from this, is like we were just thrusted into new and or old plot points that have not been explained in a long time, and or there's just new things happening. So I'm just a tad little worried, and I'm worried about going into Judgment Day too, now with this. But overall, I did enjoy the book. As for the new team, I mean, let me say this. I think it was 2 shows ago, or two comic book day episodes ago, I was like, I want Magic on the X-Men team, and I may be in the wrong here, but I really dig Magic being on the X-Men team. So I'm happy about that. And I'm sure there will be other people that really dig the fact that, or don't dig the fact that she's coming off a New Mutants and she's entering the X-Men group, but I'm digging it. As for Sync, the storyline with Sync and him like aging because he's, doing memory, stealing abilities via memory rather than the person inside. That's kind of a neat storyline, but also I'm like, where are we going? As for everybody else, I'm kind of indifferent. I don't know enough about some of the characters to really be like, oh, this is crazy. Iceman, digging it. Havoc. Is it Havoc? Yeah, Cyclops' brother, indifferent. I like Cyclops and Jean Grey on the team, so I'm actually kind of bummed that Wolverine left the team. I kind of liked her. I wanted her there, but overall, I'll be interested to see what happens with the team. I know that the artist that was doing X-Force originally is going to be on the book, so I'm actually pretty excited about that, even though I love Pepe Larraz. But overall, the team is... If I were to grade the team, just optically looking at it, A-, maybe even a B+. So we'll just have to wait and see. But overall, I enjoyed the book, but I feel like we are going... There are a lot of things happening, and I think Judgment Day will really tell us where the X-Men are going. Obviously, that's kind of a stupid statement to make, but I think this event will really... It'll hinge on this, like, if we're going to continue reading, which is really odd to say, but I think Judgment Day, there's a lot going there too. But that's kind of my spill on this. Let's get to chat. My biggest question: what is the gala supposed to do? What is it supposed to outline? What was it's supposed to do? A yearly event that makes the other books converge? Then cool, but that's not what this is. Yeah, I mean it was kind of thrown together really quickly. We got the mission statement at the party rather than like, oh, we know this is where we're headed. So again, as well, the X-Men era is supposed to mutant critique and driven. We know the average Avengers are supposed to know. Man, it's moving so quickly. To fight the X-Men at some point for humanity reason, but why and how? Dude, I don't know. It's getting crazy. Hal Logan said another Berlin was straight out of the Wolverine versus Spider-Man, and I loved it. Eric, Hellfire was alright. Most important part was John Hamm. I totally agree. Can't wait to see Wolverine and Spider-Man together. I am actually looking forward to that. Again, I want to know where we're going with it. I guess that's the opportunity for me to get into Spider-Man, but that's not happening until September. So it's going to feel very disconnected because the Hellfire Gala will have been 2 months away since that issue comes out. Where we go from Hellfire, didn't really see at the point. Yeah, it was weird. I mean, we were setting up things, but it wasn't like, here's the clear direction, right? We're obviously going towards Judgment Day. That's where we're going. But the last fight, Hellfire Gala, kind of put us in like multiple directions. And now we're kind of like trying to guess where we're going, which is really odd. Why does Firestar look pissed to be there in the team reveal page? See, I don't know enough about that. So I know that she's reluctant to be kind of labeled as mutant, or at least that's what I got from that whole deal. So I don't know much about Firestar. So that's why when that was announced, I was kind of like, I don't know what's going on, to be honest. I'm sure if Nate was here, he would know. Yeah, Havoc is a good addition, but would like to see Quicksilver have a bigger role in Marvel. Marvel needs the speedsters to be proud of. I totally agree with that. Remember when Hickman was writing and the only reason why he didn't get more story was because he kept getting events to derail the story of X-Men. Children of the Vault was so heavy with lore. I loved it. And we're about to get Children of the Vault with Gary Jerry, and I know it won't be the same, but I think he's got show notes from Hickman for that. But it remains to be seen if it's going to be just a one story, one issue arc, or if we're going to jump and it'll be a lengthier arc. We'll just have to wait and see. We haven't gotten anything close to from Jerry at all. No, I totally agree. Not related, but because this book reminded me, what did you think of Miss Marvel's finale? Have you watched it yet? I enjoyed the whole show, and the finale was good. We hope we see these guys come back soon. I have not read it, or I have not watched it, but I know what happens, and I know the big spoiler, and spoilers for me, for my reaction, I'm cool with it. Sorry, I'm cool with it. That's just me. Eric, he's gone to be the main X title. Pepe is leaving. Yeah, it kind of stinks, but I'll be interested to see where Pepe goes. If he stays or if he's moving on. Spider-Man and Wolverine are always fun to see together almost anywhere. Dude, I've been sad since Hickman left. It's been hard. It's been rough. It's been totally rough. Let's move on to the next book. We got Immortal X-Men issue number 4. Absolutely dug this issue. It's not my pick of the week, but I'm just digging this is what has me hopeful for Judgment Day, because Kieran Gillen is writing it, right? And everything that he's been writing so far leading up to this event, to me personally, has been spot on. I feel like I know where we're going, but I also know that there are some twists and turns that are coming down the pipeline that I'm super excited for, and I cannot wait for the reveal. I dug it. I love the fact that Sinister has been played in this issue, and he doesn't even know what the fuck's going on. I'm digging this Emma Frost first narrative for the island. Again, it's her island to lose, right? She's kind of like the new leader, if you will. But we all kind of know what. It seems like Charles is up to something. We didn't really mention that in the Hellfire Gala. Like he's cooking up something with Forge, which also I love Forge on the team. I think that's dope. But overall, I enjoyed the book. I loved seeing Sinister squirm, and then I liked the connectivity to Eve of Judgment and him being kidnapped, and where we're going with that. But overall, again, I am digging the hell out of X-Men Immortal. I think it's super fun. Patty, I thought it was inevitable simply because the Inhumans haven't really been expanded in way. Oh, you're talking about Miss Marvel, to do it exact same. Hopefully, people understand what an adaptation is and can be cool with it. I like how Immortal, Stefan says, I like how Immortal has a focus on each quiet council member of each issue. I totally agree. As for the Miss Marvel thing, so I did a little bit of digging when I was talking to Nate about it. So I guess, and I could be wrong, I may have read the wrong source, but from my understanding, apparently the original writer of the character wanted Miss Marvel or Kamala to be mutant, but they didn't do that because of the whole Marvel not having the actual rights to the X-Men cinematically, and so they wrote it into the Inhumans because the move was to push the Inhumans because they were getting ready to be involved cinematically, and then obviously that show just totally sucked, and it just didn't work out. So I kind of had that hunch when it was announced. I was like, I bet she wanted to write her as a mutant. And I'm for it. I'm for it. I'm here. And also, if you think about it, if you think about the Miss Marvel show, and I know we're kind of breaking off into another thing, but, you introduced the clandestines, right? And that's such a random, out of nowhere piece of Marvel lore. And then if you were to drop that she's an Inhuman because of Tarragon Mist, you would have been like, I'm sure a casual viewer would be like, the fuck are you talking about, right? Everybody knows the X-Men. Everybody knows a mutant, you know what I'm saying? And Marvel has been desperate to get these guys in so that we can finally start seeing some of these characters that we absolutely love done right. And I know that's a jab at the Fox movies, but and they have their own little space over here. But I'm ready to see what Marvel will actually do with them cinematically. So it'll be interesting to see. But I dig it. I dig her being. I dig it. I totally dig it. Eric, I loved Emma's intro to Immortal. Dude, is this my pick of the week? I don't know. I got to get through the rest of the books. I read them so early. Like, I literally read them on Wednesday. I got through my entire pool. So I'm trying to invoke memories of it to see if it's going to be it or not. This is pretty damn close. I might have to pick at the end of the show. So we'll have to see. Stefan, can't wait for the Exodus issue next month. That dude seems nuts. It's going to be crazy. Everything's about to get crazy. Tendu, not sure why we aren't getting a Orcus book, because it feels like out of the 20 X books, why does it seem only 4 matter? But you skim that too, probably that one. That's terrible. No, I agree. I think there should be an Orcus book, or they should be more involved in a book. I mean, they are kind of involved in Red more than anything, and Gary's book to an extent. But you're right. I think that would be badass to have that as a focus. I don't know. I'm here for it. Heck yeah. My opinion on the X offices are, at this point, they just sorrow. Excalibur was canceled, and now Knights. Tina is going to get another book. Why? I don't know. She's got something cooked, but they clearly like it. And I like her book too. It's just not connected as much as we want it to be. But this might be my pick of the week, but we're going to keep rolling. Marauders, issue number 4. Super fun. We actually get some answers to this, original Mutants. A fuck ton of characters die in this book. Freaking Katie dies. Somebody else dies. But we essentially get that the Shi'ar are, the reason why they're hiding it is because they were like slaughtering ancient mutants, the first mutants, and we're trying to figure out why. And then Tempo is getting ready to jump. We're getting ready to jump multiple timelines to fix, to get to the original mutants, essentially. And I think that's too cool. So we're kind of doing like a time heist thing in this book. We're getting ready to. I'm going to go quick on this one. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was super fun. I'm ready for it. I'm digging this book, and I feel like there are more consequences in this book than we really know as we get into Judgment Day, and then maybe even past it. It might be setting up something for past Judgment Day where we're like, oh, this has been going on over in Marauders. So I highly recommend this book if you're not reading it. I think it's super fun. The artwork is crazy, and I've been digging the covers, and I really love the team. I think this is a really unique team, and I was really shaky about it prior to Orlando getting on the book, but I like it. It's super fun. And I think there's some consequence here, for sure. Back to it, Joe. The first mutant in the MCU is Miss Marvel. I don't know about that. So why does that say... What does it say about the mutants in the MCU? I feel like that robs the rich history of mutants. We'll have to wait and see where they go with it. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I think there's a plan for it. I don't know. We'll just have to see. I don't know how. I can't answer it, Joe. I'm sorry. Patty, wasn't Namor one of the original mutants? I can't remember if that's canon or not. I believe he is, because he's considered a mutant in the Hoxpox, so for sure, I would assume. Stefan, Marauders is a solid book. Totally is. Also, Moira going evil so quickly with no real big reason is kind of off-putting. I agree with that. It was just like 0 to 60 for her. And it was just because we had, they were getting Hickman out, so Hickman had to get to his ending quicker than I think he intended, which is so weird. I don't know, dude. The X books are so all over the place. I enjoy them, even to the point where it may not make sense. But I'm digging Marauders. I gotta say that. All right, New Mutants issue number 27. Clearly now we know where magic is going, so we're gonna see kind of that end in this storyline. I think this arc was really cool, how it kind of wrapped up with Magic and kind of reconciling her past and kind of getting back to where she needed to be, power-wise. But I'm still very intrigued, but also confused to how we are going to deal with this new Queen of Limbo in... dang it, I had her name. The Goblin Queen. I forget her name. Chad, help me out here. Anyway, I'm back to Miss Marvel. I mean, for Miss Marvel being the first introduced wasn't the world's best move, but it makes sense. I would love to see another mutant first, but now thinking maybe they could be in the background. Like Wolverine being has been in Canada the whole time doing his thing. We just haven't been introduced to any mutants yet. But I don't know, lots of stuff could be going on in the background. I think you're totally right. Just remains to be seen. I don't think the ball's going to get dropped, guys. I think there's going to be some clear form. The thing that gets me is like there are so many people that are just upset with the Disney Plus shows, and it reminds me of when Disney first acquired Star Wars or Lucasfilms, and people were pissed about the movies that they were making, and I was sitting there going like, listen, good or bad, we were getting Star Wars movies every Christmas, right? And then Phantom Menace was just like, fuck this shit. And now we don't. And now we get Disney Plus shows, which I dig. But people need to slow down. Look, listen, we get content that I don't think really is that bad. It's not bad. If anything, it's actually quite good. And I think people just need to cool their jets and just let the process happen. Because, I mean, can you imagine Madeline Pryor? Thank you, Eric. I was like, I know, for some reason I wanted to say Moira, and that's not it. It's Madeline. Too many M names. Everybody just needs to slow down. Just slow down, chill out on the shows, enjoy them. You know, obviously give them a fair rating, but don't be like, this is bullshit. If it's not gonna be good, don't make it at all. Come on, guys. Disney Plus is great. Just chill out. Anyway, and I'm not talking to you guys specifically. There's just like the fandom of the internet in general. I digress. Eric, New Mutants has been awesome. Makes me want to read the original Magic stories. You know what? I'm in the same boat. Joe, I would like the Mutants already been in the MCU, and Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver is the only one that was found. All right, I see it. I see you there. This book has been great. I was really worried. I think I read somewhere that there's going to be like a 3-issue mini arc in New Mutants where Ayala will not be writing the book. But I think they're coming back. So when I read that, I was like, oh no, she's getting kicked off the book. But I don't think so. I think she's taking like a 3-issue break while somebody else is writing this little mini story. But we'll have to wait and see. Joe, I agree, Jim. I loved the Love and Thunder movie, and it's like fighting words. Yeah, people get pissed, and it's just like, ladies and gentlemen, chill. We get movies. We get really cool visuals. We get cool things that make us feel good inside. You know what I'm saying? I was like, just watch the movie. Stefan, Magic and Storm mini is dope. Highly recommended. The Hickman written Avengers stopped caring because I knew that it was the greatest story of the Avengers. With the X-Men, I have been on this bad train for years now with the X-Men Blue, Black, and Gold. Were terrible. Patty, I agree, Joe. I always liked the idea of them always having powers since before everything. I don't think they ever really said they didn't. The powers beforehand, if they had, could be easier. Retcon. Yeah, it's all about retcons, right? That's I think that's what the multiverse. If you really want to break down why we're doing multiverse, I think is just to get the mutants and the Fantastic Four into the MCU as quick as possible. I'll sleep on those words all day. All right, Wolverine, issue 23. I'll be super quick with this. We just need a Deadpool book. No more Wolverine. I'm sorry. If I'm being a bad guy towards some of y'all, I'm sorry. No more Wolverine. We need a Deadpool book, and it needs to be written by Benjamin Percy. That's all I can say. This issue was fun. It was a silly goose time. The Danger Room kind of being its own sentient being and having a child, pretty sick. Using robots to fight Deadpool and Wolverine, the mashup when their bodies get completely turned into into puree, and then they morph into one another and scare the shit out of the Danger Room, thought was super cool. This book, and even Benjamin Percy's writing like, no, this isn't a Wolverine book, or Deadpool's like, this is a Deadpool book, goddammit. But now, he's going into X-Force. Remains to be seen if I'm going to continue to read this book. I mean, after Judgment Day, I know that Wolverine issues will be like kind of a tie-in to Judgment Day, so I'll probably pick those up. But after that, I don't know, man. I think I might be done with Wolverine. It just feels like it's a very repetitive story from Benjamin Percy. Can't remember anything. I'm super drunk. Anger issues. Shing. That's it. And I'm kind of tired of it. So this might be the first X book outside of, because I haven't dropped Legion X yet. I'm still on it, gosh darn it. So we'll have to wait and see. But I'm almost convinced that I might be done with this book. So we'll have to wait. I like Danger and Happy Deadpool is joining X-Force. Totally agree. Comics from Average Joe. The splash page was awesome. Everything. This issue was fun. It was just a silly goose time. All right, Eve of Judgment Day, issue number 1. Who was it? I believe it was Rockin' Robbie, who said this issue kind of, what this issue felt like to him, and I think I agree to a certain extent, was if you hadn't been reading Karen Gillan's Eternals run, it was kind of giving you a very Spark Notes-esque review of what he had been doing in the Eternals run, which I think was kind of a missed opportunity, but I get it for readers that hadn't read it and they want to know what the hell's going on before this event. This issue's for you, right? Outside of not showing Thanos, which I thought was kind of silly. But what I did appreciate about this book is you've got two different things going on in Judgment Day. You've got Druid, who is essentially trying to assert his dominance as Eternal Prime, and so he's eliminating the excess deviation of the mutants, and that's why he's trying to kill the mutants. And then we have, the other two Eternals that are more religious, that really do believe that the Celestials are their gods, trying to build their own, trying to create their own god. And I think that is the bigger focal point in Judgment Day, in my opinion, that will actually drive, like, the Druid thing is like, it's the surface level issue, right? The Eternals going after the mutants and the Avengers having to save them, and then realizing that two rogue Eternals are trying to create their own god. Everybody come together and fight that. Don't do this silly thing about killing off the mutants. We need them. I think that's where we're going. I'm kind of digging it, you know what I mean? But I enjoy Karen Gillan's work. I've been on Karen Gillan since Eternals, so I'm super stoked about it. I enjoyed his writing, and I want to see where he's going with it. So I wasn't bummed. If anything, I was bummed that we were getting an overview. Like, hey man, I've been following you. I'm not a dumb reader. Give me some new stuff, and we got a little bit of new stuff, just a tiny bit in this book, but not more than less. There wasn't as much as I wanted. There should have been more. So kind of a cash grab in my opinion. Cutting back to it, I think Wolverine works best in minis and as a co-character or leader of Wildcard. Okay, I can see that. Wolverine is like Batman to the X-World. Stories are repetitive, but they always sell. Yeah, I guess. This book played it safe. I'm okay with that. Save the bigger overall story for issue 1 event. Yeah. Tendu, this was boring snore to get through. Also, what happens with Thanos and Thanos getting involved, and no one on Krakow can stop them. Yeah, it's a little weird. I liked Eve of Judgment. Rich says to me, this is a Dark Crisis. Should have been instead of just using half the issue number 1 for preview. You're right, and Joe agrees with you. Stefan, I think Mega Krakow will fight the giant celestial thing in AXE. Yo, Kaiju Wars, let's go. All right, let's get into Captain Marvel issue 39. Gonna be quick. Captain Marvel is on trial via using magic when she shouldn't have, and Agatha Harkness is going to, judge her, and so will the Enchantress, and Carol has Wanda as her magical lawyer, but I don't think it's gonna work out. And then obviously you have Binary just having an identity crisis. I'm still digging this book. This issue was kind of flat, though. Just kind of outside of the explanation of the magic council and her having to relive these lives. It didn't move as much as I wanted it to via previous issues. So interested to see what 40 brings. So I'd give it a solid B. Solid, maybe even a B+, but solid B for sure. Daredevil issue number 1. So this was kind of a lot of people's number 1 or pick of the week, and I can see that. The Chichetto artwork on point, love it. Definitely love seeing Spider-Man and Daredevil, working together for one last time before he ends up leaving the city. I dug it because I've been reading Daredevil, right? But again, watching some other reviews, people were like, if you haven't been reading Daredevil, this as a number one probably didn't work for you, because it's just kind of like it's a continuation. And I guess what I'm getting at is, why are we giving it a new number one? Outside of your selling, like, we know why. Marvel's trying to sell more books to get more people to jump on right now. And I think it's doing a disservice, because if you are not reading Daredevil right now and you pick this book up as a new number one, you're like, what the hell are they talking about? Like, what? Kingpin, this and that and the other. There's 2 Daredevils? What? This does not feel like a number one. And it has nothing to do with the story, has nothing to do with Chichetto or Zdarsky. It's all about how Marvel is just trying to sell more books and getting more readers, new readers to read. This isn't the way to do it, because if I'm a new reader and I read this book, I'd be like, what the hell is going on? Now, granted, I guess if you use that logic, okay, I'll go get the Unlimited app and I'll get all the way up to this. I guess. But that's, to me, is, I don't know. I feel like you're slapping your readers in the face. So take my opinion with a grain of salt, if you will. I don't know. Joe, I like the heavy use of newspaper clippings this week. Yeah. This book was good, but when I got my what got me hyped is the collision course of Daredevil and Punisher. Oh, that is definitely happening. I haven't been reading Rich, but I was fine. But yes, no idea what it was or why it wasn't just a new story arc in the same run. Yeah, I agree. It should be issue whatever. It shouldn't be issue number one. It's silly. They're literally just trying to sell more comics. So yeah, but I dug it. I'm ready for it. I'm ready to see where we're going. Who's gonna die? We'll see. Oh God. Reckoning War, Fantastic Four, issue 45, the penultimate to slot, but this is essentially the ending for him. Guys, I'm not happy. And Patty talks about Daredevil. Just really loved the art and seeing Spider-Man, and Daredevil again, as always, super fun. They need to have a mini where they're together playing around. I think that'd be dope. Just fighting crime. 3 or 4 issue mini. Let me get to the positives of this book before I get to the negatives. It did feel like a majority of this issue was a nice wrap up for Slout's run and seeing where we're going next. Yay. Okay, great. Reckoning War is over. Uatu is essentially becoming more of the Watcher from the What If series rather than what he was in the comics, which is, he is a Watcher of many Watchers. Now he is the sole Watcher of everything, which I thought was pretty cool. So he kind of, he's essentially retconning everything in this issue, which is pretty dope. Elektra's going to die. Duh. Hey, you never know, dude. Rich, you never know. Zdarsky might pull a fast one on us. Anyway, I did it to Strange. Let's get to where I'm frustrated. And Tendu, I'm sure I don't know if you read this or if you've been reading this, but let's just see what you think here. So, this is the big thing for me. When Dan Slott got the book, and I read an article where he's like, I got the book, and nobody knew that I got it, he immediately was going to write a story about the family, and the one thing that he wanted to do, no matter what, he didn't give a shit what writer and or editorial in Marvel was going to say or do, he was going to depower Franklin and make him human, make him not a all-powerful god or even mighty, cosmic god or even a mutant, if you will. And so, halfway through the run, he ends up depowering Franklin. He's losing his powers, and he said he did that because he wanted to explore Franklin and how he would deal with that issue and becoming just a regular old human. Did we get that in the issues until his very last run? No. We got panels of Franklin being upset and jealous that he didn't have powers, right? What the frick? We didn't get a whole arc. We didn't get 3 issues. We didn't even get 1 issue of Franklin dealing with the fact that he didn't have powers. I think Dan Slott didn't want to write Franklin as written from other creators. I would assume Hickman had a real big influence on this. because he just didn't want to deal with it. Either he was lazy or he didn't know how to approach it. So he just kind of put Franklin in a corner. The reason why I'm pissed about that is because when we jumped on, me and Nate started jumping on and reading comics. We jumped on right when Zdarsky's X-Men, or Fantastic Four plus X-Men came out, where the whole entire story arc was the Krakowans or the X-Men and the Fantastic Four vying for Franklin, right? Because he was a mutant. The whole reason why Xavier took away the X gene information from Reed was because his son was a mutant, right? And that's a storyline that we're going to revisit in the actual X-Men books. We got it in the Gala. And all of a sudden, Franklin is not really a mutant. He made himself a mutant because he wanted to feel special. That's how Dan wrote it. Guys, not happy about it. And so in this issue, Franklin, and it is not overtly said if he did this or not, but it seems to be implied, and it's basically up to the next writer. But it looks like Franklin regained his powers when he was in this imaginary dimension, and he just imagined he has his powers back, and he comes back through the gate. What seems like he has his powers. Dan in an interview was like, "We just don't know yet. I'm keeping it very vague and intentionally." And really, it's him. I feel like it's him just saying "fuck you" to the fans, and not. I don't know. I'm pissed about it. I wish Nate was here so that we could talk about this, because we had a very good pregame discussion about it. Maybe we'll end up recording one where we actually talk about it and do a pre-recorded video where we talk about how Dan Slott's dealing with Franklin has just been a total mess. But I wasn't happy with it, and I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated because if the next writer may say, you know what, I don't want to deal with Franklin either, or we might actually get back on track, and Franklin might be a key piece into our X-Men reading, which I want. I want that. So we'll have to wait and see. Patty talking about Daredevil, but she died so many times. It's Matt's turn, but you're probably right. I think Matt's going to die. Or maybe they both die and we just get a completely new... Joe, but Doom with Forever Hate is an interesting story in development. Or Gates. No, I agree. And figuring out the whole Human Torch completely burning all the time will be great. I don't know. I just feel like Slott dropped the ball on a lot of things, and he's like, I'm not going to resolve these things. Fuck it. I'm going to go write Spider-Man. And that's where we're at, and I'm not happy about it. And who knows? Let's see. It remains to be seen, but maybe me and Nate will do a video on this solely, and we'll actually have like an edited, pre-recorded video on our thoughts, just an overall review. Man, got like a little parched there, about Dan Slott's run on Fantastic Four, because I think he did a lot of things right, but then I think he did a lot of things wrong that it feels lazy. It just feels like lazy and a slap in the face of fans. I don't like that. Moon Knight. Yo, this book was great. Joe, was it you that said like this book isn't really trying to change the world? It's just trying to have fun. And we get essentially Taskmaster being asked to assassinate Moon Knight, and he's like, "You're fucking crazy. I'm not going after that guy. You'd be a chump to try to kill Moon Knight." And we've got Moon Knight, torturing vampires and just being a overall badass. Which I really dug, and I like that we're also moving into dealing with his multiple personalities. I think that's going to be fun. A+ on this book. Super great. I say it every week. Interested to see where we go. But overall, I'm having a good time with Moon Knight. And this book is nowhere near being dropped on my polls. It's just not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So we'll have to wait and see, where we go. But I think the future is really bright for this book. Patty, when I was younger, I read Hickman's Fantastic Four, and I was hooked. Even with Johnny locked away and pronounced dead, was just a great book as a 12-year-old. Gotcha. All right, Patty. Who's replacing Johnny Storm? Don't know yet, or if he is, but we'll see. Maybe it'll be Spider-Man. And I really like the new suits. No, it'll be his sister. It'll be Reed Richards' new sister that they're going to introduce in the next issue. Guarantee it. And I really like the new suit and them bringing Spidey for a little back in the day. I mean, maybe. Who are the two villains that the vampire recruits? They can't be more badass than Taskmaster. I don't know who that is. So I'm in the same boot. I'm in the same boat, Stefan. I don't know who that was. That hook was kind of like, I don't know. That wasn't really that big of a hook. I did like seeing how we're gonna deal with the 3 personalities of Moon Knight. That was pretty dope. We'll have to see. All right, after that, let's jump into DC with Batgirls issue number 8. We got 2 more books, and then I'm signing off, guys. Because I am the only one talking. Batgirls issue number 8. I liked it. I'm glad that we're just kind of sticking with this theme and dealing with certain figures. And the Seer, trying to save her, but also she's still a bad guy. And I'm really liking the Babs and Dick relationship. Nightwing and Batgirl. Loving it. I'd give this book a solid A. I thought it was super fun. It was funny. I forgot that the artist had changed. So when I opened the issue, I got like really frustrated at the shop with Nate. And I was like, oh wait, no, this is the right artist. They just changed it up. But there's just these little subtle nods to either characters' relationships or their lack thereof. I think that's great. The book flowed well, and that's a lot to be said. And Nate, again, isn't here to defend it, so he can't tell me that I'm wrong. I was really worried with, when I read the first 3 issues, I was like, uh-oh, I don't know if I'm going to dig this. But, it's progressed every issue, and I'm getting more and more involved in it to the point where like this book there's no danger in sight for this book to be pulled off my list. So overall, I liked the issue. I thought it was super fun. And I think we get a new clean break arc in issue 9. So, remains to be seen where we're headed. I'm sure I could read solicitations and find out. But I'm digging the crap out of this book, and I want more. So it will not be off the list anytime soon. All right, last but not least, we have Superman, Son of KalEl, issue number 13, the dynamic debut of Dreamer. This is a TV first character, trans character who showed up in the Flashverse, I believe, or the Arrowverse. I don't know how you say that. And what we essentially get in this book is the demise of the Justice League again, people dying in a dream again. And so we're just really establishing Dreamer as a new comic book character, which I think is great. I'm a little worried again because we're still in this President Bendix Gamora nation. I'm kind of ready to move on, and I know we're not going to. Like it's just not going to happen. I know this is where Tom Taylor is going to kind of sit and play. And so there are times when this book I'm like super high on it, and then there are other times where I'm super low. And right now I'm kind of like in the middle, there were definitely some oh shit moments in this book, was seeing how these alternate or actual possibilities of the Justice League being killed again happened. I thought that was kind of crazy. And I really like the Dreamer character, like being able to walk through dreams to get to certain realities. I mean, we're dream walking like we did in Doctor Strange, but this is its version in the DC canon. But it remains to be seen of how much consequence that actually develops when doing that. But overall, I thought it was fun. But I'm getting tired of this. I want to move on, and I know we're not. I know that he's building this giant thing. With the Gamora and President Bendix storyline. The other thing that I think they kind of alluded to the fact that Superman was coming back. And this gets me into this whole like continuity thing with Dark Crisis and like where are we at in the timeline? I'll never know. DC just seems to be so... I mean, I know Marvel is kind of jacked up, but dude, DC feels even more confusing to me. And I'm sure that's because I'm just still such a novice reader to DC. But it's incredibly frustrating when you start mentioning like, oh, well, don't worry, he'll be back. I'm like, wait a minute, he's dead. Like, he's dead. But wait, no, he's at Warworld, but I thought he was dead. Like, it's all over the damn place. So I need some clarity, guys. So let me know in the comments, in the chat. Let me know in the comments after the show's over. What am I missing that I just can't get things to be connected? Or is it that DC is just that the timeline with DC and the continuity with DC is so convoluted that it just doesn't matter? I think that's the case, but you let me know. Joe, I have about 10 DC books on my pull that I didn't want to drop any, but I need to make room for new DC books coming out next month, and this has got to go. I feel that. I totally understand that. This book was left out of my pull list even though I'm subbed for it. Whee! I say you, he dead. I say you, he dead. I think it's a typo. Patty, what? Let me know. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I genuinely like Tom Taylor's work, and I genuinely like this book. I'm just ready to move on. I'm ready to move on. You know, let's start a new storyline. And I don't know if he's just kind of doing a circling pattern so that once Crisis is over, he can. But that doesn't make any sense either, because we're not really talking about that in this book. Like, in this book, Superman is on Warworld. He's not dead. Wait, I say you, he dead. You say I. What? No, I think I know what you're trying to say, Patty. I don't know. Continuity is just out the window for me on these books, so I need some help. Send me Spark book or what's the word? Little books that help you study. Spark notes? I don't remember. Yeah, my thoughts exactly. I'm ready to jump on something new. Thank you, Lee. You are Lee. You're right here. You're right here. I'm ready to move on. You know what? Do I say something controversial? It's not here to stop me, right? I like John. Oh no, it's just a meme. Got it, Patty. I like John a lot. Crap. I just think I don't know. I like the Superman that's in World's Finest. I just like that depiction of Superman. And I'm ready for there to be a main Superman title where he's that. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Philip Kennedy Johnson's run of of Action Comics, but he is like wrapped in this like lore building Lord of the Rings style story that to me doesn't feel like a Superman story. I don't know. And so then Tom Taylor is like, we're building it, but to what end? Like at some point someone at DC and or whoever is going to make the call and be like, we just need a Superman book. And then what? John gets kicked out, or we get just a Superman book, and then we have Superman Son of KalEl. Like, it just feels so like there's just no direction. There's no communication about what we're actually trying to do, or at least it doesn't seem like it from the outside in. I'm sure there is. I'm sure there's giant boards, storyboards in the offices are like, this is where we're headed, right? But my perception of how things get flushed out at DC seems so much more convoluted than they are at Marvel. Could be wrong. Lee, let me know. Rich, let me know. Joe, anybody, let me know. I just don't know. Lee, I like John too. I don't think his story has been about him. It's been about him being gay, which isn't well executed here. Yeah, it's just kind of. It feels like we're in a holding pattern. It feels like Tom Taylor is flying with one wing behind, tied behind his back if he was a bird, right? And so it just, I need a clearer direction, which in his other books we've had. So give it to me. Just do it. Rich, I think John is cool, but they keep making him out to be unintelligent and a whiner. I don't know. Maybe I just haven't read enough. Patty, I feel like John not being part of the Legion of Superheroes is a big missed opportunity, and if they already did that, why did I miss it? I always loved the Legion. I feel like there's a Legion of Superhero. There's a Legion of Superhero book. It's like a mini, like 1 through 6 or 1 through 4. I can't remember, and I'm sure he's on there. Not sure. It's not Empire. It's not about John being gay. It is not about John being gay. Come on, guys. No. I agree with you, Empire. I just think we're in a holding pattern of John trying to figure out who he is as Superman, and it just doesn't feel like we're moving at a pace that feels fluid and natural, right? Like, it feels like we're just kind of Like, he's still trying to figure it out. And, like, I guess I see that, but I don't know. Like, there's something with this book that is not right. And I think it's really, we're just not, the character himself is fine. There's nothing wrong with the character. I think Taylor, for whatever reason, is not progressing, I don't think, fast enough. And it's not even a word, fast enough. Fluid enough, not cohesive enough. It feels like we're just kind of jumping around when, like, I think things could be done better, written better. The fluidity of the book seems to be going up and down every month. Sorry, that's just where that's where I'm at. John is so fun, but I haven't gotten any yet at my shop. Gotcha, Patty. Leah, loads better said that than mine. Thank you. Aaron, I think Taylor was given this book and then a few issues a few issues into planning. They said, hey, actually, we're going to do a line-wide reboot with Dark Crisis. So if you have big ideas, just hold off. Now, that could make sense. Empire, I really think that Tom had to slow down the story because of the events. Gut feeling here. I think you're all right. I think Dark Crisis and whatever Williamson was planning, he had to kind of just pump the brakes. And so we get some issues that feel real fluid, and then we get other ones that feel like just a step back, like, hey, what are we doing? Is this filler? Like, it totally feels like Naruto filler. So that's another reason why I'm kind of worried about Dark Crisis. Like, you know, I've never experienced a DC reset in continuity, so we'll see, you know, what they do after. All of us are thinking it, right? We're all thinking that Dark Crisis is going to be this thing where we're going to do an absolute restart, a reboot, all new number ones, where John is properly as Superman and whoever is Batman and Wonder Woman, right? And you'll have one half of the group, you know, the fan base going, great, refreshing, let's do it, let's try something new. And then we'll have, you know, the other side of the fandom that's going to be like, no, I want to read classic stories. I want, you know, this is what I want. Don't mess with my Superman. And I think you're not in the right, I don't, in my opinion, I don't think you're in the right form there at that point if you're saying that. Like, we need new things. Just need to be done well. Patty, I still like John's suit because then Clark's, he knows what's up. No, I do like the suit too. I just want progression, and I think you're all right. There's something going on where we're holding off because of Dark Crisis. Or, yeah, we're getting ready for a massive reset, which stinks because if Superman gets a reset, then you're like, okay, well, now I've got 16 or 17 issues, and what do I do with that now? I got a new number one. Yeah, just put it in a short box. I don't know. After the Gamora arc, I'm sure the title will get it slow. I'm sure you're right, Empire. I'm almost certain that you're right. But, you know, I did enjoy this issue. Don't get me wrong. There were definitely, like, the artwork, I was like, whoa! You know, Wonder Woman, she's got a hole in her chest. Yikes. You know, like, there's some crazy stuff in this book. So, you know, we'll see where we go with it. I'm not dropping it. I'm not saying I'm dropping it. You know, my DC pulls are fairly light comparative to some other people. So we'll just have to wait and see. But I'm just ready for some consistency. And I consistently say that every time this book pops up. So let's just get with it, eh? All right. Nate had all the independents, essentially. So I can't do those reviews for him. I'm sure we will find out after he gets back from the concert what his pick of the week is. So, Lee, I will let you know tomorrow if I stop by the shop to let you know what his pick of the week was. My pick of the week, it's going to be this one.
That's Jim's pick of the week.
I can't. Karen Gillan, to me, is just writing a very fabulous story, and I love that there are very non-subtle hints to Hickman's style and world building, but then at the same time he's doing his own thing, right? And I think the Eternals run has really, you know, geared me up for this book because I had no interest in the Eternals book, and then I read it, and then I was like, I'm on board. This guy is crazy mad with the words, and now I'm reading this, and I'm like, this book is great. So Immortal X-Men issue number 4 is my pick of the week. We will find out what Nate's is soon. Maybe we'll post it on social, be like, hey, this is what it is. But I'll let you guys know. Let me get back to our title here. Read really quick. Empire, the colorist was bomb on this issue too. Oh, for Superman, yeah, for sure. Lee, thanks very much for the show. Patty, great show, man. Have a good week. Y'all do too, okay? Joe, only reason I don't believe it's the event's fault is that DC does not care about continuity. I've kind of heard that. Yeah, let me know. Keep on letting me know about that. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for being on this solo flight with Jim on Two Fat Guys Pull List, Flight 96 or Issue 96 or Episode 96. We will catch you again for a new comic book day for the 20th of this week. So check that out. It'll come out on Tuesday, 4 o'clock, 4:30 p.m. Central this week. So make sure to check that out. And then, as always, we'll be doing a live episode next Sunday, 8 o'clock Central Standard Time here on YouTube. And, if anything pops up, solicitations should probably be out this week for Marvel and DC. So keep an eye out for that, maybe. We'll see. I don't think there will be any really new TikTok videos unless we decide to do that Franklin video that I want to do. And then I'll cut some excerpts on that. But do follow us on TikTok at Two Fat Guys Pool List. We are kicking it live over there. We're trying to get people from there over here and here from over there. So go check it out. Yeah. Be kind to one another. Be safe. If you want to wear a mask, wear one. And as always, fam, read more comics. And we'll catch you guys in the next one. And Nate will be here, I promise. Right now, he's just jamming out to Claudio, to Coed and Cambria. This is going to be great. We'll see you guys. Bye. Do a Dan Slott rant? Patty, you're right. We're going to do it. We're going to do a Dan Slott rant. I'm going to convince Nathan that we are going to do a video solely on Dan Slott's run of the Fantastic Four, and it won't be good. It won't be good because they done fucked with Franklin, and I'm not happy about it, and his fix, or potential fix, is total boo-boo trash. So we'll get into it. We'll see, Rich. I have to wear a mask at work starting tomorrow. Yeah, I think it's coming back, guy. I think it's just coming back. Things are getting hairy, but we'll get through it. We'll just get through it. Push forward. Be kind to one another. Look out for one another. And, yeah. Be nice. Love y'all. Talk to y'all later. Bye.